Hello Year 5, welcome back after half term. Today we're having a look at The Explorer by Catherine Rundell. One of my favourite books. A real adventure that begins straight in the action, which you've just heard the author read. I'm going to model now using some of our VIPERS skills. Vocabulary, the words, inferring meaning, predicting what might happen, explaining what has happened, retrieving facts, finding various things in the text, and summarising. Not a skill we use often, but a pretty good one to make sure we understand what's gone on. I'm going to read to you part of the text. It's not very long. You can see the author here signed my copy. I'm very lucky. But actually, sometimes when you're reading, you need to actually ask yourself some questions. You need to ask what's going on in the text. You need to kind of put them together, a bit like a detective. And there are some questions on the slides that you have as well. I've got a copy here. It might be handy to have those questions in front of you because I'm going to try and address them as they come along. I'll leave them there. So here we go. Like a man-made magic wish, the aeroplane began to rise. Already, right at the first sentence, I'm suddenly in an aircraft that's just taken off. I love the description there. Man-made magic wish, very alliterative. The boy sitting in the cockpit gripped his seat and held his breath as the plane climbed into the arms of the sky. Fred's jaw was set with concentration and his fingers twitched, following the movements of the pilot beside him. Joystick, throttle. So already there's a boy, and then I find out his name is Fred. He's actually in the cockpit with the pilot, and I ask myself, what's a boy doing in a cockpit of a plane? What does that tell me? What can I infer? Well, I can infer that the plane must be really quite small because they'd never let a child in the cockpit of a big aircraft. It's really dramatic. He's gripping his seat. Is he not comfortable? Is he very excited? He's also holding his breath. You don't do that unless you're either terrified or excited. And this metaphor, the arms of the sky, it's actually personifying the skies, if the sky's giving it a big hug. The aeroplane vibrated as it flew faster into the setting sun. Ah, another clue. It's the end of the day. It's going to be dark soon. Following the swerve of the Amazon River below them. And I can see that in the picture. I can see this river, and I now know it's the Amazon, which is in South America and is got huge, huge rainforests and jungles. So all of a sudden, in the first page, I know there's a small aircraft. It's taking off near to the end of the day, and it's crossing the Amazon jungle. Now already, I'm feeling a little bit unsettled because there's a boy here with the pilot, and I don't know whether he's excited or whether he's fearful or why he's in the plane. Let's read on. Fred could see the reflection of the six-seater plane, a spot of black on the vast sweep of blue, as it sped towards Manaus, the city on the water. Right. So already, I now know that it's only 6 seats. Is it only the boy and the man and the pilot? He brushed his hair out of his eyes and pressed his forehead against the window. He must be looking out of the plane. I'd look out of the plane if I was going across the Amazon. Ah, new paragraph, new detail. Behind Fred sat a girl and her little brother. They had the same slanted eyebrows and the same brown skin, the same long eyelashes. I love that detail of 3 slanted eyebrows, same brown skin, same long eyelashes. Power of 3. The girl had been shy, hugging her parents until the last possible moment at the airfield. Now she was staring down at the water, singing under her breath, her brother trying to eat his seatbelt. There's a bit of humour. I can imagine, why would a little boy be eating a seatbelt? What does that tell me about him? Well, do you know what? I think he must be quite small, quite young. He might be nervous, which is why he might be chewing a seatbelt. But actually, I know something else. These children aren't with an adult. Their parents have put them on the plane, the 6-seater plane, and they're on their own. Again, that's a very clever way of giving you a little bit of foreboding that, well, if these children are on their own and they're going over the Amazon jungle in a 6-seater plane and it's getting dark, all those clues are put together to make me feel something's about to happen. That question, are there actions that are gradually revealed? Well, in just a few paragraphs, we've got things gradually revealing. And what we have to do is to put them together to make a complete picture. Let's read on. In the next row, on her own, sat a pale girl with blonde hair down to her waist. Her blouse had a neck ruffle that came up to her chin, and she kept tugging it down and grimacing. She was determinedly not looking out of the window. Well, what does that tell me about this girl? She's dressed quite smartly. She's not very comfortable with that because she's tugging it down, and if you grimace, you make a face like you're not really enjoying things. So she's dressed quite smartly, but she's not too happy. She's not looking out of the window. The boy was looking out of the window, but she's not. I wonder if you can think of why she wouldn't look out of a window. Well, my theory is that she's probably scared. She might even be afraid of heights. So she's not in a comfortable position either. So we've got 4 people now. A boy called Fred, a girl who's singing under her breath but has been nervous before she got on the plane. A boy, I think, is younger because he's trying to eat his seatbelt. Maybe he's nervous too. And then a girl, a pale girl with blonde hair. Those are interesting details. Pale and blonde. They've been picked out because she must be a bit different. Let's read on. The airfield they had just left had been dusty and almost deserted. Just a strip of tarmac under the ferocious Brazilian sun. Very, very hot. Fred's cousin had insisted that he wear his school uniform and cricket jumper. And now, inside the hot, airless cabin, he felt like he was being gently cooked inside his own skin. Now, there's another picture that we've got. He's in school uniform. He's a schoolboy. If he wears a cricket jumper, well, maybe it's a special kind of school that they have cricket jumpers. Maybe he's quite well-to-do, perhaps. But it's very hot, and he's not comfortable. Being cooked in your own skin doesn't sound fun to me. So that's another thing that the authors put in there to make the reader feel slightly uncomfortable, slightly wary. It's too hot, it's very hot, and these children are on their own, apart from the pilot. We've got a question here. How do the different characters react? Have a think about it. Talk to somebody if you want to, but think about how do they react. How have we reacted in the last 2 pages? Have we seen anything happy or joyful? I don't think we have we? We've seen lots of uncomfortable children in different ways. And actually, people's actions tell us a lot about what they're feeling or what they're thinking. What are we told about the situation? Well, we've been told that it's just an aircraft taking off. We've been told where in the world it is. We've been told who's on the plane. We've been told how big the plane is. We've been told a little bit about the details of the children, what they look like. What do we know will happen? Well, let's read on and find out.